You know, deep in the hidden corners of the internet, there's a war going on, right now. It's not fought with guns and bombs, but with data, with code. And for more than a decade, one of the most crucial soldiers in that fight was a guy most of us had never even heard of.
So, I want to throw a number at you. 5.6 million. Just let that sink in for a second. What do you think that is? Dollars? Hacked accounts, maybe? Malicious lines of code? Let's hang on to that for a moment.
Turns out, that's the number of page views on a blog. And here's the really crazy part. This entire blog, it was run, written, and managed by just one person. One guy. I mean, that kind of influence is almost unheard of. So who was this person? And what on earth was he writing about that had everyone from the NSA to actual cyber mafias reading every word?
Well, this is his story. The story of Dancho Danchev. His journey starts a world away from Silicon Valley, in post-communist Bulgaria. We're going to see how a teenage hacker, just a kid really, became one of the planet's leading cyber intelligence analysts. It's an amazing ride.
All right, so to really get who he became, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning. Let's dive into his origin story.
Okay, so I want you to picture this. We're in a small town in Bulgaria, and it's the 90s. The internet is just starting to become a thing. And for a teenager like Dancho, that sound of a dial-up modem, well, that wasn't just noise. It was the sound of a door opening to a whole new universe. A global network of computers he was absolutely determined to figure out. And listen, he didn't just casually browse the web. No way. He dove in head first. He got deep into the early hacker scene. You know, this whole new subculture with its own set of rules and communities. He was running his own websites with awesome names like Security is Futile and joining these really influential groups, just soaking up everything he possibly could about this new digital frontier.
I mean, this kid was relentless. To get faster internet, because dial-up was painfully slow, remember? He actually got a job as an office assistant at his local ISP. This gave him like an all-access pass to download all the latest hacking and security tools. And get this, in one of his boldest early moves, he got his hands on the password files for the entire ISP, cracked them, and gave himself and his buddies free internet. He was learning the system by, well, breaking it.
But, breaking things was really just the beginning for him. His curiosity started to shift. It wasn't just about getting in anymore. He wanted to understand how it all worked. And that, right there, is when he starts his transformation from a hacker into an analyst.
And his career path, man, it was a rocket ship. It starts in the 90s as just a hacker enthusiast in Bulgaria. By 2003, he's the managing director of the legendary Astavista Security Group. Then the big one, 2005, he launches his own blog, Mindstreams. And by the 2010s, he's a full-blown global threat analyst. It's a seriously fast climb.
And look, we can't overstate how big a deal his role at Asta La Vista was. At the time, this was the place to be, one of the most popular security portals on the entire planet. It was the central hub for hackers, security pros, researchers, everyone. Being the boss there put him right at the heart of the cyber underground's information flow.
But believe it or not, it was his own solo project, his personal blog, that made him a global phenomenon. Mindstreams of information security knowledge. This was where he shared his raw, unfiltered analyses connecting the dots on new threats in a way literally no one else was doing. And this is where those 5.6 million page views came from. Just incredible.
So now he's got this huge global audience hanging on every single post. And this is where Danchev shifts from just being an analyst to becoming an active hunter. He started tracking some of the most dangerous cyber threats out there.
And his resume from this period is just wow. He tracked and exposed the operators behind the notorious Kubeface botnet. That was a massive network of infected computers. He worked with GCHQ, which is basically the UK's version of the NSA, on a top-secret program. He was one of the very first to identify a key victim in the massive SolarWinds attack. He was presenting his research to Interpol. I mean, he was doing real-world digital detective work with massive global consequences.
And don't just take my word for it. The biggest names in the field were taking notice. Jeffrey Carr, the CEO of an intelligence firm called Taya Global, said, and I quote, "I consider Dancho to be one of the best and most insightful researchers working in the InfoSec field today. That's some serious respect."
And that wasn't just a one-off comment. That kind of praise was coming from all over the industry. His reputation was rock solid.
Listen to this one from Lance Spitzner, a true legend who founded the HoneyNet project. He said that he could think of only a few people who had Dancho's level of skill and understanding of cyber threats. I mean, coming from the guy who built a whole global network to trap and analyze cyber attacks, that is incredibly high praise.
And then Kevin Townsend, who'd known Dancho since its early days on security forums, just laid it out plain and simple. He said Dancho had become, without any doubt, one of the world's leading experts. The journey from that kid in Bulgaria to a global authority, it was complete.
So, when you look back at it all, what's his lasting legacy? What was the thing he pioneered that really changed the game in the fight against cybercrime?
It really all boils down to this one idea, OSINT. That stands for Open Source Intelligence. The best way to think about it is like digital detective work. It's the art of finding little clues that are hidden in plain sight on websites and bits of code, on forums, and then piecing them all together to uncover a secret cyber threat. And this was Dancho's superpower. He wasn't just good at OSINT, he mastered it. He could take all these fragmented little pieces of public data that looked like junk to everyone else, and he could weave them together into a crystal clear picture of a hidden danger. He basically used the internet's own openness against the bad guys trying to hide in the shadows.
Really, his work and his tireless public research helped build the foundation for what we now call modern threat intelligence. And he proved something amazing, that one single dedicated person, armed with curiosity and a dial-up modem in a small town in Bulgaria, could end up protecting millions and millions of people all over the world.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, right? Dancho's story proves that sometimes the person watching our backs isn't some giant corporation or a government agency. Sometimes it's just one passionate expert hunting in the digital shadows. So it makes you wonder, in today's world, with all these hidden threats evolving every day, who are the Dancho Danchevs watching out for us now?